Yeah, well, they're my YouTube friends. So for those of you that still have an interest in the Star Wars franchise at all at the moment, then here is my opening of the First Order Snowtrooper from Hot Toys. Hope you enjoy, guys. First off, as per usual, the box itself is a standard order box when it comes to these ones. Very, very little on them at all. It's your warnings, what it is, MMS 321 First Order Snowtrooper from Disney's Star Wars franchise, and Star Wars on the top. Not a great deal to them as per normal, just standard boxes. But hey, if you like that type of thing, that's cool. Taking the lid off, and you're greeted with that. Again, it's doing a bit of posability with the actual figure, which I'm not even going to see it. I'm hoping that to have some sort of thing where you can pose it in some of these poses, because one of the other ones I did, which I don't know whether you'll have seen that one before this one or after this one, but it was a bit of a nightmare to pose. So let's hope this guy's a bit better than some of the other ones that I've done. Anyway guys, let's lift this thing off the front here and see what he looks like. And boom, there you go. Not too bad. You can make out some of it, not all of it, but let's get this stuff out on the desk so you can see it all and show you what we get with this. Accessories wise, guys, this is what we're getting. Again, as per usual, not a great deal. This time around you've got one less hand than you're getting in the other one, which is always a crying shame. They have the obligatory crotch grabber, but you know me, I don't particularly like using them, and I think with this one, why they couldn't have made it white is beyond me. I mean, do you not think that would have made a lot more sense? He's wearing a white uniform, so to put a white one on, you might not be able to then tell it's there. Hey, just me, I suppose, but you know, that's just would be my way of thinking. Let's make it white so you can't really tell it's there on the character. But there you go, cheapness, I suppose. Even though they're making a bloody fortune off these things, it's all to do with cheapness. Base still has the thing on, which I think is just, well, you can see it's just been stuck on any old way just to cover it. I don't know what this one's actually like. I mean, yeah, it has, I can basically make out, well, you might not be able to, but I can actually make out some little scuff marks and scratch marks on it. But again, I got in a second hand mark, so you know, and you got there again, cheaply done with the not even putting a metal front on it, you know, which is such a shame, you know, that they kind of go to a little bit of expense for you when you're really paying what you are for these things. We have, again, as per the norm, your pegs, which I think with these type of figures you need, as I've spoken about before on previous video, which I don't know whether you'll have seen that one or whether you see it next, I don't know. Depends on anyone's asked for this particular way to be done. Then we've got a few sets of hands. Now, one of the things I've got to say with these particular hands is they are probably the worst set I've seen Hot Toys do. There is very little at all in them. Details wise, they seem to have sort of literally cut corners. For me personally, anyway, you know, they seem like they just haven't made as much effort as what they normally do with these ones. But this is what we have. So you get a couple of sets of hands there, trigger finger hand. Obviously you have got a couple of sets of hands on them as well, but again, there's not the hugest amount of detail on these things. And then you have his backpack. Again, not a great deal of detail to it. Not much on it whatsoever. Yeah, it's like almost like it's just stickers put on like going back to the bad old days, really, of figures well before Hot Toys were around, where there would be stickers on stuff to make it look like it's, you know, that's, yeah, it's just a little tiny bit of plastic. There's a backpack, yeah, and you've got these blaster, which they do go into details with these things, you know. But again, moving parts wise, there really isn't much in the way of moving parts, because you don't need it. You know, the stock moves out a fraction. Not really even much noteworthy of that. And the hand rail thing comes out to, you know, something to grip onto, which again, it's neither an out or something. But and on this one, I found out that this comes off. Now I don't know if it was supposed to, or whether it's just with mine it's come off or what. But it does come off, because really, with it being a blaster pistol, you don't need to change the clips or anything over. So, but there you go. That's what you've got with it. These are all the parts. I mean, you can see this is detailed enough. Yeah, they've went sort of and done the gun properly, which is always cool. But the actual hands itself, I'm a little bit disappointed at. And this thing, yeah, it just seems like, you know, note on stomach. Surely this is some sort of backpack that would open up, you know, in the movie. You know, but this thing doesn't open up at all. It's literally just that bit of plastic. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. That's what you've got. Now let's get on to the character himself and see what he's like. This is how it came for me. Now remember, guys, I did get this guy on the open market from Facebook. Sorry, from eBay. It might have been one of the Facebook groups. I really can't remember nowadays. I order that many different ones at different times from different places. Depends on who has it the cheapest at the time. But this guy, you know, the helmet wise, I think the helmet's pretty damn good. You know, I think that is a decent look to the character. And the actual uniform, by the looks of it, will give you the chance to have better maneuverability with it and better posability with it, which is always an added bonus. So I do think when we look at it, and I will show you better now, I'll sort of get a bit closer and show you what I mean. We have his breastplate here, which decidedly, to me, looks like a bib. I mean, it just looks like a baby's bib. You know what I mean? So if you look at the picture on here as well, the way it's situated, and that it really does just remind you of a baby's bib. You know, especially if you have his uniform, his belt down there where it's meant to be. With mine, it was a bit higher up, and that really does look like a baby's bib on him. You know, and that just takes away any sort of menacing look about him at all. I mean, it really does take away that any sort of menacingness about him whatsoever when he looks like he's wearing a baby's bib. Yeah, but that's just me, guys. You know, that's just my opinion. That's just my thought process. I know, you know, what do you think? Do you think it looks like a baby's bib? And again, I still think that the levels to the detail that they put on, they don't have to put much detail on these things. There isn't much detail in them, so they can get away with really not. And that's why I can't understand sometimes why some of the prices can be so high on characters like this that doesn't take much to make them, in the way that there isn't loads of details to them. You know, it's just, it can be very, very strange in that respect. Let's get you a close-up on this helmet, and so you can have a proper look at that. And here we go, guys. There's a close-up on his helmet. I can see it. It's a pretty nice helmet, though. To me, I still believe the actual original Stormtroopers helmets made them look much more aggressive than what these ones do. You know, I think these ones aren't as sort of, don't have that menacingness that the originals had, but that's the way it goes. And I think it's still nice. It's a nice looking helmet, but I still think the original helmets were much more menacing looking. You know, I don't know whether that would put the fear of God into you being a rebel compared to what the original ones would have. Yeah, but that's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it, I suppose. So there we go. Take it out a bit and show you. Excuse the noises of us moving the camera thing down. Just saves up to unbuckle it and buckle it back up that much, you know. So right, rosebud rice again. We'll have the shoulder pads attached to the top of the uniform, so you're not getting quite 90 degrees out of it. Yeah, you are getting half decent range of motion, which again, this is due to the fact that you've got material here, you know, which is giving you a little bit of a thingy, but it's still not, you're still not really getting much more range of motion than you got in the other ones. Coming forward, again, we have okay mouse, but again, it's the material back here that is putting a bit of pressure to stop from going up any higher, which really, you know, that's high enough, I suppose, for most things that you would need it for, so you can't really grumble. It has a bit of pivot in the shoulder, the bicep area, so that's canny. Turn this way so you can see, and bicep range of motion, you can see there, it's double jointed one, so it goes right the way up, which is pretty good. The material, I think, has a bit of give to it, so it's not too bad. It probably will drop out quite nicely if you don't want to have it that way. Yeah, you don't have any sort of swivel at the wrist, but these will move because of the uniform, so that's fine. And again, you're getting movement in the wrist, but only if you've got the wrist peg turned the correct way to allow you to have motion in it, you know, because it'll only really move one way, and apart from it, it'll twist completely round as per the norm with these things. And you just got to keep moving it to get it back to how you want it to be. So that's the top half. Let's get on and look at the bottom half. The bottom half wise, again, it doesn't have the back plate on the butt end, so you should really get some okay ranges of motion there, but technically speaking, you're not. The actual butt of the thingy is that solid that you can't get it any further back than that, which is always a crying shame. Forward motion wise, let's really try and force it, and that's what you're going to get there, is your forward motion. Bend in the knee, you're getting quite a bit of bend in the knee, and then it's just a case of trying to maneuver the knee pad around to get into place, but you've got a damn good range of motion on the knee with this one, which is far better than the other ones, which is good that you've got that range of motion with them. You want good ranges of motion. Splits wise, you're getting pretty much that, but you really, what would you want to do the splits for in the first place? You know, it's just not really something that a stormtrooper would exactly do. You know, it's not like they play games and crap out there, but there you go. Again, we have, these are separate. It's like a gaiter on his boot, which has very good into it, but it's soft plastic, moves up and down to give you some range of motion with the ankle. So we'll take it down and show you the ankle. Ankle wise, what do I have? Tilt down. We have a hell of a lot of tilt up on this guy. A bit of tilt down. Flexion rise. There's your inward flexion, outward flexion, so you have got a decent range of motion on that, and obviously it'll spin completely around, and then it's just a case of maneuvering your boot back into place. This one, the ankles are still weak as per the norm, but they don't seem to be as weak as the other ones. But I do see the fact that you'll possibly get the same issue with this being a painted boot that you get with the other one that we're I've had a look at before, and that is this part of plastic here at the bottom, sort of rubbing and taking off the paintwork on there if you're not careful. But he's certainly got a hell of a lot better range of motion than the other ones. There you go guys, there's him with his gun in his hand, and of course we've actually put his backpack on him. And the backpack is very, very easy to do. His helmet might come off. You can see on the back of here, you've got just a couple of sticking out bits. And on here, it just literally holds in, bump, and there you go. Simple as that. It's nothing to it at all. Though I suppose it's better than putting it in with magnets, because if they put it with magnets, the magnets eventually may end up losing some of their magnetism, and then it would end up dropping off. Whereas that way, it's going to stay on. It's going to be fine and not come off. It's the worry from certain angles about this giraffe style neck that it's got with it. You can't seem to get your head to sit any further down, which is a bit of a shame with it. I think, see the levels of details on it compared to other figures, or even compared to even some of the other Stormtrooper figures, there isn't a great deal to it. But this one does have a much better range of motion to it. You will get better posability with this guy. Though again, head wise, you can get up and down motion, but I do worry that as soon as you tilt it back a bit, you've got that massive giraffe neck style thing you go into it, that I think is really pretty bad with that one. But there you go, and that's him. Let's put him with these other ones and have a quick comparison of the three of them together. And there's the three sort of types of Stormtrooper together, the First Order ones that I've got. And again, see, the levels of details, they don't need to be much in them. The uniforms itself are pretty much very, very basic, but that's how they look together. I know you wouldn't probably get them normally together because this is a snow trooper, so and you think to yourself, hey, these are pretty decent. Though I do wish they had more posability to them. I wish the ankles were a bit tougher with them, because every time I even move the slightest thing on them, I've got to try and readjust the bloody ankles to get them to stand up. Every time I put them on a slightly different surface, I've got to adjust the ankles to see if I can get them to stand up. And it takes us a while to get them there, but that's the three guys together. There we go. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed, guys. And this is been my review of the First Order Snowtrooper. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, guys, you can hear the wind's picking up now in the man cave. So anyway, guys, please, if you've liked, put a like on. If you didn't, put a dislike. Comment if you'd like to, and subscribe if you want to see more of what I've got coming. This is the Bearded Nerdy Oaf, and guys, thanks, and I'm out of here.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
What? No. I didn't. I wasn't. Why would I ever say that? I mean,